Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to this first episode of Tibbin's Thoughts, or Tibbin's Thoughts, where I'm going to be reacting to what's going on in the real football world, giving you my opinions, and this first episode is going to be focusing on deadline day and all the deals that took place yesterday. It was a crazy day. I'm just going to run through sort of who I thought has done well from yesterday, who's done the best deals, who possibly could have done better, and then who didn't do any business at all, or any decent business at all, and what it's going to mean for them. I will be focusing on the Premier League and going through that. I might dive into a little bit of the lower leagues. I am a Southend United fan, so I might give a little bit of opinion on how they've been doing in terms of transfers, and yeah, hopefully this is going to be a regular thing from now on. Whether it'll always be out here and in the beautiful sunshine, I'm not so sure. Been treated to a lovely day today, so I thought for the first one we'll come outside and yeah, react to the transfer window out here. Also, just a quick word on the quality of the camera. It is just through my laptop, and I'm hoping for my birthday, which is in 5 days' time now, very exciting, I will have a camera which will improve both the quality of the gaming videos that I'm bringing out, and you'll also be able to see me, but hopefully I can use that here as well for these Tibbin Talks that I'm going to be doing, and yeah, hopefully it will improve the general quality of the videos that I'm producing. But anyway, let's get on with reacting to what happened yesterday. I did, I'm always up late anyway, but I did stay up to make sure I saw everything come in, and obviously there was a couple of big late transfers that took a while to get across the line, and they were David Luiz and Moussa Sissoko. David Luiz is obviously a very talented footballer who's had his moments. He took a little while to adapt with Chelsea initially, but I think overall it's a good signing for Conte and his men. I think Chelsea have had a good transfer window. Obviously a lot of players going out on loan, they always do that, with a couple again going yesterday, a couple to Bristol Rovers I think, and then like Atsu going to Newcastle. But David Luiz is a really good centre-back. Yes, obviously torn apart by Luis Suarez last season in the Champions League, but I think for Conte he's going to be a good signing, a good physical presence at the back for Chelsea. Obviously they've still got John Terry, they've still got Zuma, Cahill. There's a lot of talented centre-backs there, but I would think he'll be first pick for Conte, and yeah, I think they've done a good bit of business getting him back in at a reasonable price as well, really, considering some of the transfer sums that have been going round. Moussa Sissoko, on the other hand, as well as supporting Southend, I'm an Arsenal fan, and he did say initially in the transfer window that he wanted to go to Arsenal, and that'd be like the only club he considered. Obviously he's ended up going to Tottenham, which is, I'm not sure if it's a good bit of business or not. Obviously, in the Euros, we saw a couple of good games from him. He played well. Last year with Newcastle, though, he did struggle at times. He didn't always look interested, and I feel as though Pochettino's got his work cut out to get the best out of him. If he does, it could be one of the best signings on deadline day. But my feeling is that he won't hit the heights that he did at the Euros, and you'll just get that odd good game from him, and that will be it. And in my mind, 30 million for a player that hasn't proved themselves consistently is a bad bit of business. So I would say Tottenham perhaps not doing the best bit of business there with that signing. Obviously a lot of loan deals went through yesterday as well, and the biggest one of them has to be Jack Wilshere. As I said, I'm an Arsenal fan. I've watched Jack Wilshere come through the ranks, and he did really well for a couple of seasons. But the problem is injuries. He's constantly struggled to be fit. as social media knows, constantly taking the mick out of him. But I feel as though Bournemouth had a really good signing there. I think, yes, he's down the pecking order now of Arsenal. It's the right time for him to go out on loan and prove himself. If he can stay fit, if he can perform regularly for Bournemouth to the capabilities that he's got, then I think he could potentially keep them up. I mean, they hadn't done too much business in the transfer market. Obviously, Jordan Ibe coming in, but I feel as though they were going to be in trouble. But now, if Wilshere stays fit, if he's there week in week out doing what he can do, then he's a game changer. So I feel as though Bournemouth, out of all the clubs, have perhaps done the best bit of transfer business in securing him on loan for the season. Whether it plays out like that, different question. But I've got a few friends that support Bournemouth, so for their sake, I'm hoping that they do get the best from him and he does achieve his potential. Other loan signings, some other big ones. Samir Nasri, ex-Arsenal, on his way out of Man City. It doesn't surprise me too much. I mean, they've got such talent at City nowadays that it's really difficult for players, even of Nasri's ability, to get into the starting lineup week in, week out. Going to Seville, it's a good move. I'm not sure if they're in Champions League or Europa League next season, but when it comes to European football, they're always a threat, and I think he'll do well there. I think he'd be a good addition for them and really strengthen their side in midfield. One surprising move yesterday was the free transfer of Mario Balotelli to Nice. I mean, I don't blame Jurgen Klopp for getting rid of him. He's a handful at the best of times, and I don't know. I mean, Nice. I don't really know anything about their team. I know they've had Ben Arthur in the past, haven't they? But is he gonna hit the heights again? I don't think so. I think his career is sort of on the way out now. But I mean, Nice could have a good signing there. It could be enough to get them up towards the top of the French league. But I'd say they're probably gonna get 10 goals from him maybe. He's such an enigma. You never know what you're going to get with him, to be honest. So it'll be interesting to see how he does fare for the rest of this season. Moving on, there's obviously a lot of other transfers to get through. I'm going to try and get through as many as I can. Another big one was for the champions Leicester, getting in Islam Slimani, player that I've seen a couple of times only on the telly, playing for Sporting Lisbon. I think he's going to be a good striking option for them, a different striking option to the likes of Okazaki, Vardy, and their new man Musa. I think he offers something a bit different, and I would expect him, if he gets the games, he could probably get about 10 goals this season. He's been a regular scorer in the Portuguese league, obviously a bit easier than the Premier League, but if he can adapt, I think it'd be a really good signing for them. Other players that are on the move, Alvaro Arbeloa has gone to West Ham on a free. I think he's going to be a good addition for them as well. They've made some good signings, including Zaza, the Seagull stealing penalty taker. Arbeloa, though, is a right back we know from the Liverpool days. Went to Real Madrid, did okay there as well. So I think it'd be a good option for West Ham, good backup option. I mean, I know they've got like Sam Byram, etc. coming through. So I think he'll be a good signing for them. A sort of utility player to use. Moving on, the transfer of Nkudu finally went through for Tottenham from Marseille. I don't know anything about him, but be interesting to see how he goes for Tottenham, as well as Sissoko. How many games both of them are going to get, I don't know. We'll have to see. A couple of loan deals. Mangala moving away from Man City. No surprise, really. He just hasn't proved himself at all at City. He's been very poor at times, let them down on many occasions, so it's no surprise to see him moving on. One of the bigger loan deals, also out of Man City, was Wilfred Boney going to Stoke. I think that's a great signing for Stoke. They've made some astute additions. Obviously unable to get Saido Berahino, who still stays at West Brom. But Boney, when he's at Swansea, great player. At Man City, with all the striking options they have, he just hasn't been given the chance, and when he has, he hasn't often taken it. But at Stoke, I think he'll do a good job. I think he'll prove himself again and show us what a good Premier League striker he is. There's also Joe Hart, obviously going out of Man City. Obviously that deal was confirmed a little bit earlier in the transfer deadline day, but a weird move for me to go to Torino. For them, it's a great signing, a massive signing for them. But is it good for Joe Hart? I don't think so. I think this is possibly the end of him as England's #1 keeper as well. I know he's been picked in the latest England squad, but England players going away nowadays, it just doesn't seem to work normally. He might buck the trend and prove himself, but for me, it's a weird one for Hart to go there. But we'll see. It could be a really wise decision. But yeah, we'll have to see how he goes. Other big deals. I have got a sheet here. It was very hard to memorise all of them. Hal Robson-Kanu, an ex-Southend player, is gone to West Brom for free. Brilliant at the Euros, really showed the quality that certainly I know he had, and other Southend fans probably knew he had. So I'm really pleased for him to get his chance at West Brom. I'm sure he'll take it. He's a good winger or striker. It depends where you want to play him. But I think he'll do a good job in the Premier League. Maybe one for fantasy teams. He'll pop up the odd goal and an odd assist. I think he'll be a really good signing for West Brom. Other players coming in, something to look. Enner Valencia to Everton, the loan move, another strange one for me. Obviously, they missed out on their man in Sissoko. I know, obviously got like Balassi in, but I don't know if Everton. They're a good club, but they often seem to miss out on signings to other clubs, and I can't see them getting into Champions League football. I can't see them even getting into Europa League football. Especially losing the likes of John Stones as well. Yeah, it's a weird one signing Enner Valencia. I know he's been decent at West Ham, but nothing spectacular. It's an odd loan move, in my opinion. Some of the other smaller clubs, obviously Hull have been trying to get a few deals done late on. Marcus Henriksen was a late one to go through from AZ Alkmaar. Again, another player I don't know anything about. Be interesting to see how he fares coming over from the Dutch league, though. We've had some good Dutch players come over, obviously Dennis Bergkamp being one of them, but I don't think he's anywhere near that level. I think I'm going to move down. Actually, no, wait, the last Premier League one, Alan Neom, moving from Watford to West Brom. He started really well at Watford last season. Towards the end of last season, like a lot of Watford players, went missing a bit. Gone to West Brom, undisclosed fee. Who knows? It could be a good signing again. I think Pulis sort of wants to just strengthen up, have a bit more strength in depth, which I don't think he had at the start of the season. So Neom will offer that, but past that, I'm not really sure. We're going to move down now into the Championship and League One, whereas there's some big deals as well. Charlie Mulgrew, another ex-Southend player, has moved to Blackburn from Celtic. He had a good few years at Celtic, one of their better players, but fallen out of favour recently. For a team like Blackburn who is struggling and looking for a leader, I think Charlie Mulgrew will offer that. He's a strong presence on the field. He was at Southend even when he was I think he was on loan with us. So I think he'll help Blackburn in their, at the moment, their fight for relegation. I know it's early days, but judging on their squad, it could be a long season for them. Looking at others, Rico Henry moving from Walsall to Brentford, another bright young talent, 1.5 million he's gone for. Another good signing by Brentford. They've taken our keeper, Dan Bentley. They've got in John Egan from Gillingham. Both of them are on a free. Here they had to spend some money on getting Rico Henry in, but Brentford continue to make good signings and look like a team that could maybe not this season, but maybe next season, be in the Premier League, be that sort of Bournemouth story, small club, moving up into the top division. Other loan moves as well. Aidan McGeady going from Everton to Preston. I know he was on loan, I think, at Sheffield Wednesday last season in the Championship. I think it's a good signing for Preston. Again, they're a side that aren't going to be... Well, I think they were mid-table last year, but they aren't going to be pushing the playoffs, I wouldn't think. Despite having the likes of Joe Garner, I think they'll be towards the bottom, and I think someone like McGeady will be a good player for getting them points and keeping them above that dotted line in the Championship. Albert Adoma, another one, moving from Middlesbrough to Villa. He's a really good Championship player, speedy winger. Scored quite a few goals, I think, last season for Middlesbrough, so I am surprised they let him move on. But yeah, he's going to be a good player for Villa. Obviously got Ross McCormack in as well. I mean, if they didn't come back up this season, it'd be a real surprise to me with the signings they've made. But with Villa, anything's possible, judging on last season. Other signings, Wigan made, I think, 4 signings yesterday, one of them being Nathan Byrne from Wolves. I don't think he got a fair shot at Wolves, to be fair. Hopefully at Wigan he will get his fair shot. For Swindon, he came down to Southend a couple of times. He tore us apart. He's got great pace. He's got great eye on the ball. He's constantly looking for that pass or looking to weave in and out and get that shot away. He's a really good talent, and I think Wigan will benefit from that. If they can get the best from him. He's another player if you get the best from him, then you've got a great player like Jack Wilshere, like Mario Balotelli. Obviously he's not at their levels, but I think if they can get the best from him, then a really good signing. Other players looking at, Brentford got Sully Kai as well. He was on a League One club last year, who I can't remember who had him. I think it was Shrewsbury, I think. Again, came out of Southend, tore us apart. He's a speedy striker, he's a good player, and a loan move to Brentford. He'll do well there with their philosophy, the way they play football. I think he'll do well, and I think he's definitely one for the future in the Premier League. Moving down into League One, Southend missed out on this man. That's Sylvain Ebanks-Blake. He's been hovering around sort of the Championship level for a long time. He did play for Wolves in the Premier League, I think, but wasn't really his level. But Shrewsbury, for him, that's a great signing for them to get that sort of quality striker in. Another quality striker, bit younger and needs to prove himself. That's Sammy Amiobi, who's gone to Bolton. Southend United go to Bolton on Saturday, and I'll be there. And hopefully Sammy Amiobi won't be doing the business against us, but he's a good striker. He does need to prove himself again, but I think at League One, I think he'll be able to do that and make his mark, especially with Bolton, who are going to probably storm away with this division. He should be a really good signing for them. Southend themselves have made a signing yesterday, which was Ryan Inniss from Crystal Palace, 6'4" centre-back. Don't know much about him, to be honest, but defensively we have had our problems. We did sign Anton Ferdinand the other day as well. Hopefully both of them will do the business and help us in our defensive woes. We've also been struggling with striking options as well. That's why we're looking at Ebanks-Blake. We're looking at Jay Simpson of Orient. Unfortunately, none of these have come through, and that's it's a shame. We're left with some average strikers at best, in the likes of David Mooney. But it'd be interesting to see how we go up until January. Obviously, you can't do any emergency loans anymore, so it could be a bit of a struggle for the next few months for my team. I think that just about sums it up. There's other big transfers that have gone through. I'm just trying to have a look at my list. Ones that I haven't mentioned. Jeff Hendrick to Burnley. Interesting to see how he makes the move from the Championship. Who else here? Marcus Alonso going to Chelsea as well. Don't know too much about him. Mbakani went to Hull. So many transfers. It was difficult to get through all of them. I've gone through the main ones in the Premier League, I think, and also dipped into the Championship and League One, which I know a bit more about, being a lower league fan. But hopefully it's been a enjoyable watch for this first Tibbin's Talks. I'm going to try and do a few more of these throughout the year, reacting to different things going on in the football world. yeah, hopefully, hopefully they'll be as good next time. Hopefully, I can continue doing them outside here in the sunshine. Lovely day. Yeah, it's nice to sit back in the garden and enjoy the English sunshine for once, rather than being stuck indoors. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the transfer deadline day. It was a crazy one. People didn't see David Luiz making that move, and it was great to watch. Jim White, as usual, on Sky Sports News, brilliant. But yeah, it was. It's always an enjoyable day for a football fan. Deadline day, and the amount of money spent, I think it was over 1.1 billion in the end in the Premier League. Crazy amounts of money, the sort of money you normally see on FIFA, but yeah, crazy stuff. That is going to be it though for this first Tibbin's Talks videos. You can follow me on Twitter at Tibbin27, where I'll be posting videos, giving you updates, etc. You can also obviously follow me on the YouTube channel Tibbin27 and the Twitch channel where I do the live streaming of FIFA, of GTA, of Rocket League, etc. That is also Tibbin27. Now though, I'm going to go and enjoy the sunshine. I'll leave you to enjoy your day. Hopefully, you know, your club has signed somebody that you wanted, and you've got the players you wanted. You know, if you do watch this, leave a comment. You know, do you think my comments are right? What do you think of these signings of David Luiz, of Sissoko, of Wilshere? You know, are they good moves? Are they bad moves? You know, let me know in the comments. Be good to get interaction as well on this. But that is going to be it for this first one. As I said, subscribe here on YouTube, Twitch, and follow me on Twitter. But for now, it's Tibbin27.